No, wrong trailer. Bad. Hello? 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 I'll be back in 2 seconds. And if you want to ask any questions, question in brackets, I'll go through the list. I'm always about 10 minutes behind. Exaggerate. Hey. No, Pedro. Stop your music. Enough of it. Enough of it! Right. Any questions on wider PTU yet?
Dodging bullets.
Thank you very much.
Oh, beautiful.
Oh, people giving me bits, mate. Daymar Rally's giving me bits. I need to organise my interview with you guys. I'll do that after the stream. So we can get that on the main channel. Daymar Rally are the featured event this month. And we do orgs and we do apps and we do pretty much anything that I think is cool and related to Star Citizen. Daymar Rally's cool. It'll be on January 2019, but you can sign up now as a team. DaymarRally.com. Kabam, kabam. Look at this. Look at this service. Look at this business. Bam, Daymar Rally. You drive around Daymar as a group. You've got like engineers and people servicing your vehicle. 300 kilometers. That's a long distance. It'll be pretty cool. But check that out. I've put a team forward as well now because it'll be a laugh at the very least. I love fan events. I think it's all awesome. How's everyone? How's everyone doing today? Yes, we're great, Monkey. That's Monkey is my nickname pre-BoredGamer. It's still used widely by some of my friends. But there's no news on the wider PTU yet. Still in Evocati 3.2, so it's being tested, and typically they add more and more features, and then it will go to a wider PTU with either subscribers and concierge and first wave testers, or just subscriber and concierge and then first wave later. I'll have to wait and see how they do it this time, and be based on how many people extra they want to test. And then we'll have the live build at the end of June. No idea we're going to be able to fly the C2 or the Hercules at any of the variants. Typically, I mean, their pipeline's getting a lot faster, so you could see it in the game as early as next year. It's obviously essential for the persistent universe to transport ground vehicles around in a style that's not just spawning them. And they want to get the core mechanics, and then they want to get the standard sort of like way of doing stuff into the game as early as possible. So they don't want to have these placeholder mechanics where they don't need to. So transporting vehicles is a major one, and will come with persistence, more and more persistence in the game as well. So yeah, as early as next year. It depends on how they go through the backlogs and stuff. I suspect it's probably high on their priority list though. Aspire, thank you very much. BoredGamer Live, and I was your first comment. Love you, BG. Mwah. I love your face, Aspire. Thank you very much. Aspire as well. Look at all these plugs. Look at these plugs. Have I got my fleet.space up here? My fleet.space. Fleet.space. This is a little. Let's bring this up on the screen very briefly. Mate, pay to me, fucking I will chill the fuck out. My fleet.space allows you to visualize the ships in your hangar, basically, to scale. So let's go to how it works. Bam. You got stuff like that. You can output your ships and scale. It's pretty cool. I will be doing a video
Tricksy
at
little
some point,
hobbitses.
along with a load of other. Thank you very much to Deep Fryer. Thank you very much for the sub. Very much appreciated. Along with a load of other useful Star Citizen apps and things like that as well. But there's some stuff I do want to talk to people about. I do want to talk a little bit about E3 because depending on how good Fallout 76 and Anthem have both got me semi-hyped, they are within my area of I really want to play that game, and if it's good multiplayer, and addictive, I might put it on the main channel. It won't be a huge amount of content on it, but it might be some, and it might be news and summaries and stuff. I don't know. It might not be. I might put it on the second channel, or I might think the game's a shit. I'm only really probably going to cover games that I enjoy. When do I think escape pods will be implemented? Well, they talked about that in the Calling All Devs on Monday, and they basically said they need item system 2.0, service beacons, and I think it's the multi-physics grid stuff, so that parts of ships that can detach and be independent of each other, all to be done. It doesn't sound that far off. It's in the backlog as well of things for them to do. So you could have it as early as this year. Again, unfortunately, it's slightly pulling it out of my arse. What I'd like CIG to do, and what I'm going to be encouraging them to do from next year, probably later on this year, is give us a list of mechanics that they need to have in the game at the current thinking to have a released product. Now they do agile development, so that list will change. Obviously, they're going to split some of those. Even if they gave us a list, they'll split some of those things into like 30 different tasks, or like, oh yeah, but and then realize they need supporting modules, or go, well, and we actually need this or this tech or this bit. So that's fine, but I'd like an outline of stuff that I know is going to get put in the roadmap at some point. So they go, great, we've got all these ships that we need to do. We've got all this tech that we need to get done. We've got to get this performance level, all of this sort of stuff, so we can see very roughly how much left has got to be done of the game from their current thinking to have a released product. Has the issue about wheels falling off the Cyclone too quickly been addressed? So I can't really talk about the 3.2 build much. But a lot of issues that 3.1.4 had have been addressed. But I expect to see a whole lot of new ones. Do you think bind culling and container streaming will get pushed back? So obviously bind culling was pushed back from 3.2. It does make sense that it was pushed back from it works really well with object container streaming, and they had issues with bind culling where it would create lags on the server without object container streaming when entities came into your view. So though it's great at culling them out, when you move into an area where lots of entities then appear, you'll get a big lag, and that's not appropriate. That's worse than it was previously. So they need the object container streaming to work with it, really. It could get pushed back from 3.3. I'd hope not. You got to remember with questions sort of like, could it get pushed back, or could something like that happen? It could, definitely could. And if it does, then it will either be released in a 3.3 X patch or the next major patch. It is the last super important part of Star Citizen. Well, that's actually debatable. Server meshing in 3.4 is probably the last bit, but it's the most important thing that we're getting this year, and it's probably the most important thing to make Star Citizen work with large planets and capital ships and to a performance level that is scalable and fun on lots of PCs. But it could get pushed back. I hope it doesn't. There's no indications that it will, but there was no indication that bind culling would get pushed back from 3.2 until a few weeks before Ivocati. So. Are you looking forward to Fallout 76? Yes, but I'm hyped about it, but there's not enough information about it. It's the same as Anthem. I'm hyped about Anthem, not enough information about it. Division 2 I'll probably play. I quite like Division. But stuff like Fallout 76, it scratches my Fallout itch. It's got the sort of like post-apocalyptic thing. It's got base building. It's got Rust elements. It sounds like it's going to be good for raidings. Looks like it's going to be good for small groups and large groups. And I like those sort of like MMO light games. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be an interesting one. But I don't know how hyped to be. I might do a video on Fallout at some point this week, just going, this is the summary of what we know about Fallout 76. What I don't like about it is that the beta is locked behind a pre-order. So you've got to pre-order the game to get the beta. It's like, ugh. I'm not put off by it being online only. In fact, that appeals to me more. I'm socially competitive by my very nature. Social competitive can be entirely cooperative with other people, but you just trying to brag about stuff or whatever. But I love toil and industry and leveling and grinding and resource sort of like building and base building and stuff. And I love that idea that while my mates are at work, I can be doing stuff. I can literally be earning a living by producing videos and streaming a game. And they can come home and they're like, oh, you've got a load of sulfur to make bombs with. Let's go raiding tonight. I quite like that. Can I make a face based on the level of excitement for the current Ivocati build? It's an Ivocati build, typical Ivocati build. Maybe a bit better than normal. I don't know. Who knows? I don't know if the Hercules is in Squadron 42. There must be a ground-based NPC for Squadron 42 at some point. Well, it doesn't have to be. It would be the military version if it was. Will I be on the podcast today on Redacted? I don't think so. I can poke to work and Soros. So, this is as good a time as any. So, recently I have not been particularly healthy. I've had a couple of weeks ago. I thought I was having a heart attack. I had really bad pain in my chest. Couldn't breathe. Couldn't catch my breath. Couldn't breathe. I would be dead. And had burning in both my arms and stuff. And phoned up the doctor, and they went, "You're probably not dying. If it happens again, go to A&E, but just see us tomorrow." And I went there, and I felt better. And I talked to them, and they've given me blood tests and urine tests and lots of other tests. And they came back with some of the test results and said, "You've got an infection somewhere in your body. We just don't know where. You've got leukocytes in your urine, and you've got high white blood cell count, and some sodium in your blood as well and stuff. I know I'm a salty individual anyway. So they're having to prod and poke me, but it's really annoying. I'm really uncomfortable today. I've got a bit of a fever, and I've got a really bad pain in the right side of my body, sort of like where my kidney or appendix is, that sort of area. It's on my back and on my entire flank, which is really annoying, because my tests apparently said that I had relatively good kidney function. So who fucking knows? But I've got to go to the doctor later today, and they're going to continue to prod and poke me. So I've been really worried about that. Unnecessarily worried, just because I don't have information. So my OCD and my depression and my anxiety all comes from lack of information, not being in control of information, that sort of stuff. That's why I like doing news on Star Citizen. That's why I like reading and watching everything. No matter how much shit someone's opinion is, or I don't agree with it, I will still listen to it and read it or watch it or whatever, because that's control of information to me. That's understanding information. But when you get something from your doctor that just says, well, I don't know, that's a little stressful. What do you think about the Agent Smith topic? Yay or nay? I think at the moment I quite like the idea of remoting to NPCs. So I like the idea that. Thank you very much. Phototonic, thank you very much for the sub. I like the idea of, instead of logging onto one of your characters, you can go and remote control a friend's NPC that has allowed you to do that. I like that idea. It might work better in like an arena commander or like an arena commander mission-y type scenario, so it's like it's its own isolated instances. But I like the idea of that. I don't like the idea of teleporting to players. To be honest, I don't mind the idea of teleporting to players until they've got persistence sorted out, but I think that's going to be a focus for them anyway. Do you think systems will be like EVE, where orgs sort of cluster within the same system because of how long it travels to take? Yeah, there'll certainly be desire lines and desire clusters where people congregate. There'll be trade hubs, stuff like that, definitely. It'll be like safe systems on the edge of more dangerous systems with lots of resources and stuff. I wasn't too impressed with Beyond Good and Evil 2, but I'll check. I didn't see it at E3, so I'll have a look at it later. Okay, I'll look at Skull and Bones as well. A roadmap's roadmap. Just features that, like, I think some people that don't follow Star Citizen daily, which is most people, especially people that see Star Citizen at a glance, would like to see like a feature lock. I think that's what I've been reading recently. People just want to know, well, that's great, but you're going to keep on adding features. Now, I don't think Star Citizen is going to keep on adding features, and the way to kind of respond to that is to go, well, this is the planned feature set now, and just sort of like semi-confirm it. That might change, obviously, and stuff might get broken down into more bits, but just giving that sort of like these things will be added to the roadmap and slotted in when whatever. Like seeing their backlog, like give us a rough look at the backlog and stuff like that. When am I allowed to make videos for 3.2's gameplay? Whenever it goes to the next stage of PTU, so wider PTU. So it's out of Evocati, which could be this week, or it could be a week. It could be two weeks' time. They're not going to do in-game shop sales without more content. It will bring in new gamers, in my opinion. So they're going to have the sale of weapons and equipment, lots more in 3.2 with Alpha UEC. They haven't confirmed that or denied that 3.2 will have purchasable ships with Alpha UEC. However, it looks less likely that it will have purchasable ships now. Really annoying. It is something that will upset me. Do you know the difference between agile development versus the a traditional waterfall model? Yes, so agile development is rapid iteration on things with less planning. The waterfall is you spend a large amount of time planning your project and saying this is the product that we're going to make, and then more rigidly trying to get your product out like that. That's a very, very rough, brutalized version of it. But agile development's more smaller teams and more rapid iteration and communication, and you're more responsive to change, but you spend a lot less time planning. I think so too. Lots of people are worried about them not making stuff into 3.3, but personally I'm confident that this is the main thing that they're trying to do. It's object container streaming, yeah. So Death Stranding looks interesting. It looks like walking simulator with baby strobe. It's something that, if it's not coming out on PC, or coming out on PC at the same time as PlayStation, I may even buy a PlayStation 4 just for the experience of playing a weird Kojima game. I might play Cyberpunk 2077. I am much more into multiplayer games, at least of the level of 4-player co-op. Waited for Fallout Online for a while, but not trying to get hyped. Yeah, Fallout 76. It's probably reasonable not to get hyped about these things, because there's not enough information about them yet. With the Freelancer still being a favoured ship of Chris Roberts, do you think it's realistically the Lancer series will ever get the love it needs to recapture the uniqueness it once was? I mean, they're going to get tweaked and buffed and stuff. They might have light model and materials reworks. I think all the ships are favoured ships of Chris Roberts. Please don't die. I will try not to die. I was a little bit upset earlier. Like I was pretty fucking stressed. I'm not going to smoke to try and cure anything. It's not about pain relief or anything like that. It's literally about I just need to be less worried. Will Concierge get a look at the Vulture today? I don't think so. I think, well, potentially, I suppose. They do occasionally do like a preview for Concierge as a perk, so potentially. Let's have a quick talk about the Vulture, because that's what we're assuming that the Drake thing is, aren't we? The Drake thing. Let's bring this up on the screen. So I've forgotten how to operate things. So, in some of the videos over the last week or two, they've been teasing little sections and little drawings and bits of what we're assuming is the Drake Vulture, which will be teased on the 14th. And we think that because they've used the word scrap to describe the information they're going to be disseminating about it on Reverse the Verse on Friday, when they talk about the new ship reveal and stuff. So this is what people have pieced together on Reddit so far. And Giran, one of my mods, and a very good chap, he has said that it looks very similar so far to this ore frigate in Eve. And it does, doesn't it? Obviously, this ore frigate is pretty huge, I think. But I think it's sort of like random design. It's obviously not going to look exactly the same, but it's going to... I can't unsee that now, unfortunately. You've got the struts and the shape of the back. This looks more like a Cutlass merged with a Banu Defender, but you're not going to be able to unsee this now. Obviously, this is technically a lot larger, but... well, I assume it is anyway. So this is supposed to be a small salvage ship. Originally talked about it being... you would EVA out to do salvage, and there was the colours and things. It looks like this might be a clamp, although it could just be holding salvage. I like the idea that maybe it can go on the ground as well and do ground salvage. We don't know too much about it. Oh, let's have a look at the E3 trailer in a minute as well. But, what was the... No. Thursday, we'll see a new episode around the verse, the Persistent Universe update, Weapons Special Part 2, with the fun double-barreled sniper rifle. Also, transmission interruptions from Drake Planetary. So that's going to be the ship reveal. perhaps they have something new to share with us on this week's installment of Ship Shape. And then they talk about, Jared sits down with members of the Drake's design team to discuss the previous day's reveal. We know how citizens can devour every scrap of information. That's at 4 p.m. UTC on Friday. So, yeah, we're thinking, we're assuming Vulture, small salvage ship, like the entry-level salvage ship. And it's probably the same sort of size as a small Cutlass. I know that doesn't make any sense because the Cutlass is one size. But you know what I mean. You get the meaning. It looks like a Cutlassy bit, doesn't it? I think it's going to be pretty cool. But I like seeing more industry ships like this rather than combat ships. Right, let's have a look at the E3 demo. Demo. Okay, so this is interesting and annoyed me slightly. So the Star Citizen demo is the Star Citizen version of this video is exactly the same length, but it's Star Citizen Persistent Universe 2018 trailer, whereas PC Gamer have named it Star Citizen Alpha 3.2 teaser. So bear that in mind, because I don't think all of this stuff's going to be in 3.2. I'd be surprised if all this stuff is going to be in 2018. So let's have a look. All footage captured in engine. Doesn't mean necessarily mean in game, but a lot of it probably was. So well, let's back up right there. That's some planetary stuff. That's cool. That could be Hurston. That could be new moons. That could be asteroid fields. We've got the Vandal ships. They haven't been updated much. We've got, what's this? Is this a javelin? Is this bits of a javelin? So that looked like just like the javelin wreck put it into space. This looks a little bit like Tessa's
beautiful
probe. Oh, Floorboard, thank you very much for the cheer. Woo! So big scrap fields, the blade. This is probe again. 600i. So I thought, seeing this scene, I was like, oh, this isn't going to happen. But these are just NPCs mostly milling around and looking at stuff. So maybe that could be around. Thank you very much, Hashtogen. Love your face. With Fallout 76, actually, I'll talk about that in a minute. So this was interesting. People were asking what ship this was in the background. So obviously that's a Reclaimer. I think that's a Reclaimer. But that's a blade. Pretty sure. Freelancer, or is that a Reliant? What is that? I can't really tell what that is. It's on the frames. So this got me quite excited about... Oh, Daymar Rally, thank you very much for the cheer again. Mwah. This got me quite excited for the Hurricane, which I tweeted out this morning about. It was like, oh, that actually looks like a really cool turret ship. I like the idea of a fighter. Oh, so that was interesting. There's a guy here being bludgeoned to death with the butt of a pistol. If it's got melee in, give melee. But not too hard to do. Now this. This is what I have an issue with. Maybe I don't. Who knows? That's an Idris, that's a Javelin, and that's a Bengal. Okay? Now, Alpha 3.2 teaser. Now, PC Gamer might have got that wrong. PC Gaming Show might have got that wrong. However, the fault probably still lies with CIG, if that's incorrectly titled. I mean, there's no way these ships are in 3.2. But I'm just saying that could just be a mistake. Pretty much the whole other thing could be 3.2 teaser, or, for the most part at least. But at the very least would be a 2018 teaser. Yeah? But these ships, I'm not sure if they will be in 2018. I mean, I fucking hope they are. I mean, if just the Idrises, I'll be really happy. I'm going to buy so many spaceships. Oh, thank you very much, Daymar Rally.
Stream. Mega love.
Oh, thank you so much. Very much appreciated. It's like, yeah, Star, thank you. Giving away a rally pack on my channel as well for the monthly giveaway. I am always quite in awe of the amount, how generous people are. But not really much effort on my place. Thank you very much for the sub as well. Thank you. But yeah, these ships, they're not going to be in 3.2, are they? You might see the wreck of the Javelin in 3.2, and potentially the Idris. But I'd be surprised to see these ships in the persistent universe in 2018.
Dodging bullets like fucking
beautiful.
Neo.
Prepare for Alpha 3.2 update coming soon. So, it's a little... Is it disingenuous is the kind of word in some of it? I mean, they're not saying... It feels like they should have been more clear with some of the stuff. Because if a person that hasn't seen this game before ever at all looks at that and goes, fucking awesome, Alpha 3.2 is going to have all this stuff in it. It's not. It's going to have a lot of it, to be honest. Or you could recreate those scenes in 3.2, but you can recreate the scenes with those capital ships at the end. I don't think you're going to be able to do that in 2018. I hope you can. I hope I'm wrong, but we'll have to wait and see. But I did think it was a very pretty trailer, and I did think it was very cool. Let's go back to chat for a second. If I haven't answered your question in a if I haven't answered your question in a few minutes, feel free to ask it again. But I might have answered it already, or your question might be shit. But ask every few minutes. Don't ask constantly. When do I expect first wave of 3.2 PTU? It's too hard to guess. Could be this week. It could be as early as this week.
Dodging bullets like fucking
beautiful.
Neo.
Thank you very much, Daymar Rally. Look, I'm just getting spammed by Daymar Rally. a lovely spam, by the way. I mean, it's the best possible spam. You're giving me money and love, and I appreciate it. Someone told me 3.0 was not released, and all the ships are JPEGs. I heard it was all a crash grab, even though Star Citizen was not taken in that direction. Yes, Jack has. I mean, I don't know what I can tell you. I'm clearly a shill, and so anything I say would be a lie. No, I mean, it's funny that you say that, because a lot of people won't know what Star Citizen's about, because why should they know what it's about? It's not made yet. It's not a finished game yet. It's not even close to completion yet. At least a couple of years till like a beta, and it's not necessarily their job to educate themselves with something that won't hold their interest. So I'm sort of like in two minds about stuff like that. Like, let the game speak for itself when it's closer to completion. It's on the cash grab front. Star Citizen are trying to make money. Of course they are. They need to make money to continue. I think they need like 2.5 million a month. I think that's probably 2 million expenses a month. And when they're approaching like they're between 400 and 500 members of staff now. So I mean I think they make around 35 million a year. So that's well over what they need. They need 24 million a year, so they make 11 million more than that. Obviously, there's other expenses and stuff, and they'll want a healthy cash reserve in case something happens, or there's cases or refunds, or for advertising eventually. It's interesting, isn't it? Like, I'm advocating more for sort of like, well, it's a little bit of CIG's fault that people aren't interested in learning about Star Citizen because they are taking time. So they just hear about, oh, isn't that game released yet? And that's like the default response to someone that doesn't know about Star Citizen. Isn't it released yet? Or I thought it was cancelled. Or isn't that just a money pit? Or something like that. Not to everyone, obviously. People will research and stuff, but... I mean, I don't know. They've made some pretty stupid moves, Meat Cooper. No, it's cool. It's a cool little trailer. They just needed to make it more clear. I think they needed to have the capital ships after everything else, but after text saying this is coming later, sort of thing, and saying in the future, this is what we've got now, this is what we've got planned, and this is what we've got in the future. Boom. Very pretty trailer, though.
I'm dodging bullets like fucking
beautiful.
Neo.
Oh, Phototonic, thank you very much. It doesn't look at all like it will play. Well, that's quite possible.
Tricksy little hobbitses.
Milk Chocolocol. Thank you very much for the sub. It's the Prospector. Of course it's the Prospector that rammed it. Of course it is. Yeah, so I mean, I recommend that people that are interested in getting involved in the alpha at this stage, which means you give a lot of feedback, you've got to play the game and grind through those bugs to give feedback and help the direction of the game, because that's what you are. You're basically paying to be a QA member of staff in the short term. Then just get a starter pack.
Tricksy little hobbitses.
Grey Pay, thank you very much for the sub. Very much appreciated. But don't buy more than that. And if you're still on the fence about it, don't want to even get involved in the project yet, wait until the game is more developed. I mean, 100%.
Like
beautiful.
Neo.
Do you know if it's possible to enter the Daymar rally now and add crew members later? Only gather 3 at the moment. That's actually one of my questions that I'm asking them. If Daymar rally is still around, and you can answer that now if you want. I think it probably is, but I don't 100% know. As long as you have the team leader there that stays the same, I think it's probably solid.
Like
beautiful.
Neo.
Think of all the cheer. Look at all stuff. Why is everyone cheering? Thank you, Floorboard. Thank you, Grey Pay. Thank you, Daymar. Rally, appreciated. Yeah, I mean, one of the other things as well with the backing of the game is like you're going to be missing out on content if you go straight to a medium level ship. I think that's like my worry. Like if you go straight for a Saber or Super Hornet, you're going to miss a lot of grinding. Grinding is not necessarily boring and shit. It's like that toil of getting to where you want to get. But the idea of Star Citizen is that there is inequality in the universe, and you can start at whatever level you want. I suppose you could start and effectively just go, I don't really want to use a ship at all. I just want to be in someone else's ship, which I think would be pretty cool. But it depends on how they do all those things, doesn't it? All those mechanics. And we don't know yet. There's a lot of stuff we don't know about Star Citizen. That's why I want a more developed roadmap when it comes to backlogs and mechanics that they want. And I would like a little bit of a lock-in with those features, just saying, look,
Tricksy little
these are a couple of other secret-y ones that we wouldn't want to talk about yet, but they are coming. Zakuak. That's the one. Zakuak. Thank you very much for the sub. Very much appreciated. Will the 600i be the loaner ship for the Carrack? I don't know. However, on the... Sorry, I clicked my fingers quite aggressively there. Knowledge base. Support.robertspaceindustries.com. Actually, I'm going to go on my website. Website, resources. Let's bring this up on the screen for you, Boom. Website, resources. Ship Laner Matrix. So on here is the latest shiploader matrix, which will constantly be updated. You want to know what the... Will the 600i be the loaner for the Carrack? At the moment, the Carrack got a constellation Aquila, and it probably will remain the constellation Aquila. Oh, I see what you mean. 600i might make more sense for the Carrack, mightn't it? The Explorer variant. I don't know. It might change. We are getting the hammerhead. Yes, that's pretty cool. They've always had issues with marketing language. Store, buy ships, pledge. Yeah. The moment they left Kickstarter, they stopped speaking in fundraising terms. They definitely have communication issues. They are sort of like a junior studio that is growing and learning still. And they are going to have growing pains and issues. Certainly. And they have. So, yeah, there's lots of issues with their marketing terms. They need to get a product out at some point with Squadron 42 first and then Star Citizen. I think that there are perils of agile development. There's perils of being open development, and they are very open with their development. But one of the perils of open development is people criticize them for not being open enough, or particular things. So, double-edged sword. But I am actually, my channel wouldn't exist without the way they do their development, would it? Because there's so much content I can create on it, and a little bit of drama, lots of news. It's not anyone's duty or need to defend CIG or the development of the game or anything. It's people aren't defending them blindly a lot of the time. People, you know. How could you get such a perfect shine on your head? Not a troll. You just need to shave and buff. Also, I have quite a long head.
Dodging bullets.
Flighting as well.
Oh, beautiful.
Oh, thank you very much, Floorboard. Just chucking money at me. Appreciated. I've had a lot of disappointment with a lot of games recently. I've actually started playing Eve and Overwatch again recently because I just needed some stuff to play. And I like Star Citizen, but there's no long-term hooks for me there yet in the persistent universe. That I can do 30 hours of it, and I'm done. I've done everything. Completed Mass Effect Andromeda recently. I'm going to be completing... and The Forest and Raft. I'm going to be completing fucking... because I paid for it. Metal Gear Survive, no matter how shit it is. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, guys, for the mass amounts of cheer. It is very much appreciated. Trying to out-cheer each other. The capital ships are not really the problem with the clip, in my opinion. I mean, we have seen them fly to Idris's, that's true. They have kept working on them since. They should be close to done. That is true, and my studio tours would suggest that as well. There's a lot of those capital ships, like the Javelin and the Idris, are close to, if not done by now. I'm pretty sure of that. But they need object container streaming at the very least. So when will the game be finished? We don't know. It's likely, based on my opinion, the way they're going with their development and what's left to be done, and my studio tours and stuff, that it will probably be a couple of years before we have a beta, and then maybe 3 years from now we will have a released Star Citizen. Obviously, Squadron 42 should be out a lot sooner than that, and we could have Squadron 42 as early as the end of the year, but more likely within around 12-ish months. Don't know that for sure, though. Could be 2 years before Squadron 42 Episode 1, although it's much more likely to be on this side of that. It's going to be a while. It's going to be a while. In that Port Olisar / 600i scene, do you think the persistent universe can look that good in the future? Oh, yeah, God, yes. I mean, the persistent universe... I can get shots like that now, obviously not with those ships, but it certainly look that good. No, you'll find that with trailers in general, the cinematic trailers. However, you can replicate those scenes. Yeah, they need to get the core flight model, ESP, IFCS, and general weapon balance done. I mean, the IFCS and ESP, they need done. And then weapon balance to a degree where we can go, this is fun to fight. So ESP and IFCS, big improvements, I think we can all agree, in 3.1.4 compared to what it was from 3.0. But they have said that they are working a lot on that for 3.2. So... wanted or not, there's a lot of bad will towards Star Citizen from the wider gaming community. That's partly to do with the failure to deliver Squadron 42 at the date they announced. I think it's more of a sweeping generalisation of no one really knows about Star Citizen, because why would they? If it's not at a glance easy to see, then it's not their job to educate themselves. Thank you very much, Moist Noodle. Love your fucking face. Mwah. Thank you for the sub. Do CIG need to start addressing this issue, or do they carry on as is? I think they need to focus on getting a product out and more at a glance being able to have people go, what is going on with the project? If they can get that down to a quick little, you see, the roadmap, that's great, but people have to read and understand what the roadmap is about and why it is, and they don't know how long it's going to be until the game. So they need to get a lot more information at a glance available for the project, because they are starting to deliver now with a load of the core concepts of the game. A load of game mechanics are starting to come online this year, and they are keeping to schedules. Yeah, parts of the game are getting pushed back, but that's the nature of their development. Oh yeah. CIG don't do themselves any favours with the way they disseminate information. There's a lot of information, too much information for most people. There's not easily available at a glance. The reason like my channel and Noobify's channel exist is originally largely because there was a big hole for, well, let's condense this weekly information down. Well, I can do it almost daily. I can get out 5 videos plus a week about Star Citizen now, based on the information they provide, based on answers that they provide and stuff like that. And then updates to that information when it's either wrong or they give us more. Hi, Zach. Hi, everyone. Love you. You know, I've never seen any video in MFDs. Comms included. Do you know if it's possible to enter the Daymar rally now and add crew members later? I think hopefully it will be. Things like these will get another huge boost as soon as cheap next-gen VR headsets get out. I mean, VR is supposed to be part of the game. I'd expect it in Squadron 42 first, and then after release for Star Citizen would be my expectation, but we'll see. How can we participate in bug testing? Is there a place to start? That's a very good question. When you get PTU access, they give you more of a focus on what they want bug testing and regression testing. But the Issue Council on the RSO website is the place to start. You can literally look through bugs there that you experience when playing, and it's literally just you play the game and fuck around, do some stuff in the game, try and test the game loops, look at what's available in the patch notes, and try and break the game. When you encounter a bug, go on the Issue Council, see if it's listed there, and upvote it, say you can replicate it, look through the bugs list, and say, well, this looks like this bug is very important to fix, or whatever. That's the sort of stuff that you can do bug testing-wise. Literally just play the game and then report. I just think people are entirely entitled to their own opinions. So, yeah, if your opinion is that you don't want to back Star Citizen, you don't like Star Citizen, that's fine. Bothering the community, telling them it's a scam, then you've got to look at why are you doing that. Doing accusations and that sort of stuff, accusatory statements and stuff like that, with no citation, no backup, that's odd. That's, well, okay, why are you doing that? You don't have to back it yourself. That's great. You can recommend your friends don't back it. But going into the community and then going, well, this is my opinion, your game's shit, and it's all a scam, that just seems odd. Yeah. It's like, how long can you defend this game for and stuff like that? That's an odd statement to make, isn't it? Like, they definitely do stuff wrong. They give us so much information, and my conclusion is that this game will probably be a pretty good game, will come out in quite a long time, so like 2 years for a beta, as I said, 3 years, 3.5 years maybe for like a full release of Star Citizen, or a version 1 release of Star Citizen, because they're going to be working a lot longer. And that's my conclusion. Now you can say I'm stupid for that, however, I think I'm pretty well versed on it. But I recommend people do the research and have a look and see if they like the idea of the game, because the larger potential for failure of the project is not the game won't get done or anything. It will be the game is done to a version 1 release and it's just not enjoyable or something like that. There are mechanics that are crappy or whatever. Now, the idea of their rapid iteration and everything is that they fix that stuff. They get it all done, wham, bam. They can go, well, this is crappy, or this is first early iteration. We're going to evolve the mechanic. And that's hopefully going to lead to a better game. But we don't know for sure. And I cover Star Citizen, the project, warts and all. That's what I do. And there's no need to defend it. You can discuss it. You can say, I don't like this bit of it, or they're stupid, or they've done this, or they've pissed off the community. Yeah, discuss it. You don't have to. There's no need to defend it or oppose it, in my point of view. I will, however, have my say in the project. That one of the joys of having a platform is I feel like I can leverage things that I want in the game, like mechanics that I like. And I can't help that because I'm going to have a bias towards things that I think are good or not good. Like, I want the tenets of EVE Online to be in the game to some extent. There is stuff that they can learn from EVE Online and Dust 1.5.1.4 and all that sort of stuff that they should and shouldn't do in the game. You can say that about a lot of projects, though. Do I think the Vulture will fit in the 890 jump? I have no idea how big the Vulture is, though I'm expecting around Cutlass size. So Chris seems to be great for vision and great for sort of like storyline and being a very high level barrier to no, this asset isn't good enough. However, he's probably hell to work with in some situations where he'll demand near perfection, or at least within his vision. So I think like Aaron and people like that probably, and some of the other high level devs like Brian Chambers and stuff, probably rein that in a bit from the early days. I mean, the scope of the game has changed massively since its original like concepting and talking about in 2011 when they were just talking about the game, and then up till like end of 2013 is where it started to be this much more larger MMO sort of game, Star Citizen. And I wouldn't have been interested in it without that. Like, I would not have been interested in Star Citizen unless it became this big MMO. It's got the scope that I want. You're gonna get Smash? I don't know what that means. I'm not down with the kids. I think one of the issues that Star Citizen actually has is that it tries to market itself to show progress. And obviously studios don't really do that. And what they do is they'll wait for 6 months and then show you a clip of all the progress they made, and it looks amazing with most studios. However, with Star Citizen, they have to show progress weekly, and they have to do quarterly progress now with their patches, like 3.0, 3.1, 3.2. And that's an odd thing to do, because the game is in alpha, and they sort of semi-market it like this is the next big expansion to Star Citizen, and it's not. You haven't got the core mechanics of the game. That I can understand people's frustration with that. But I mean, I like playing Star Citizen, so it's a little bit different. When you're really into Star Citizen, and you want to, like, if you're really involved with the project and you really want to help it develop and stuff, and you really like the community, then yeah, it's great the way they do it. But to the more casual gamer or someone that wants the game out, that wants version 1 of the game, that can be frustrating. QA has been playing Squadron 42 for a bit longer. In fact, at least the separate scenes of it, as far as I'm aware. They are... it's going to get a stupid large amount of polish. A stupid amount. Is the ship-to-ship docking still planned? Yes, it is again. They're not planning forced docking collars, but they are planning ship-to-ship docking again. I mean, people are allowed to have their opinions on the game. People are allowed to say they think it's going to be crap and stuff. It's if they start telling you that they know it's going to be crap and you're an idiot, that's probably a bit too far. You'll see me podcast and play with Deathcore soon. Deathcore assumes everything's going to be shit. And he asks the genuine questions about, like, but what if it is? What if it is like this? What if it is crap? What if this mechanic doesn't work? Why are they doing this? He asks me that regularly, so I'll be talking about that with him on stream while we bug test and mess around with the game, because he's pretty brutal. Can you ask them if they can look into track IR, head tracking moving with your view, but not your helmet HUD? Oh, I see what you mean. I think that... We'll see what the face over IP and faceware stuff does first, yeah? So that's potentially coming in 3.3. Voice over IP and face over IP. And that's supposed to have head tracking as well. So we'll see how that works. There are certainly bugs in the game. Make sure you use H to get out of your seat, though. I'm a total noob at Star Citizen. I really like to try it, but yeah. Is it worth trying to buy the starter package, or should I wait until something else comes along? If you're looking for a sit-down-and-play game, like a finished game that you can play with and is easy access to understand, no. Do not get Star Citizen at this stage. You have to be really wanting to get into the project to want to back it at this stage. It is about bug fixing. It's about educating yourself to quite a high level. You'll have to look on YouTube and do a lot of digging to understand it, and then give feedback regularly. It is not a plug-and-play game, as it were, yet. I haven't seen anything yet on how they plan to tie personal hangers into the persistent universe. Do you have any information on that? Yeah, I believe they're going to have persistent hangers on some of the planets, like ArcCorp and stuff like that, and they are personal persistent hangers. I assume they come out with landing pads, but I don't know any more than that, really. And people can do research as well and come to a different conclusion than you. Some people will be like, nah, this is not for me. I do not, to a high level of certainty, know this game's coming out, or going to be like a game that I want. That's totally fine and sensible as a conclusion for some people. But I think it's going to be awesome. So I've just made a BoredGamer org. I've got Nomad Black, which is going to be my org I play with in game. It's going to be run like a Roman Forum-esque thing. I've got a BoredGamer social org as well now, which I will start to advertise at some point. But that will just be for socializing and organizing things. Hey Bored, long time, first visit, just wondering, how do you think gameplay will work on smaller ships with turrets? It makes sense that you don't actually want to fly them at the enemy, but rather parallel to them. Yeah, so the Hurricane, you're supposed to dart past things and encircle them. You can use its speed to get around them. It's not necessarily going to be super agile, but you fly around them, trying to avoid them with your turret gunner on them. But how will you be able to keep track of where they are while your turret gunner shoots? You won't see the enemy through the front of your window, but really hard to keep them on your side. Well, you'll be able to use your radar, and there will be other elements of the HUD that will help you. They are working on a lot of the remote turret and normal turret stuff, manned turret stuff for 3.2, so there should be a good amount more there to indicate where that mechanic is going. But Board, do you think Bethesda Starfield poses any danger for Squadron 42? No. So this is interesting to say. Any similar game is only going to increase the amount of people in the genre. It's not going to oversaturate it. It's not like a billion games that are going to be like Squadron 42. And there's going to be and you've seen it with like normally you'll get a game like Infinite Warfare and stuff that will actually make people go, oh yeah, now I'm really waiting for Squadron 42 because this wasn't very good. Same as Andromeda, or wasn't what they were expecting, or some people may have liked it and they're going, well, now it's good for Squadron 42. But it only increases market share, in my opinion, brings more people into the fold. I am interested in Starfield, but we know fuck all about it other than it exists, and they showed a bit of space. Can it help be a scam when you can get refunded if you need to? But it's not. We know. I can say with certainty that Star Citizen is not a scam. Like that, I think we all know that. That's fine. However, you could argue that the project's mismanaged, although it would be arguably. So you could say, well, obviously there's going to be inefficiency in the project. They're growing the studios. Why have they had constant slipbacks with stuff? Why have they been poor with schedules? You could definitely argue that. And you could argue the game might not be very good when it's released, things like that. But a lot of that stuff you can't know the answers to until it is released, or until they talk about it a bit more. 1 second, I just need the toilet very quickly. It's one of the issues with potentially having a kidney infection. Sorry, you can hear me whine. It's quite painful. Well, it's really uncomfortable. Oh. Wait, my chair's been tangoed. Where are we? Yeah, I think that's one of the issues. Like, we saw that demo from Star Citizen, and they make it look like a polished game. And to the casual gamer that then jumps into it without doing any more research, which could be quite a lot of people, they're like, what? Admittedly, once they got flight mechanics down properly, and they got ESP and IFCS like probably fixed, Arena Commander and Star Marine might be relatively enjoyable with 3.2 onwards. Well, now onwards, if they actually fix IFCS. But yeah. Yeah, so the concept of Star Citizen and the direction they're going is good. I think that's pretty solid. It just takes time to get there, and they get stuff wrong when it comes to marketing, and probably when it comes to some levels of management. I mean, they're obviously going to get some stuff wrong, but there's definitely going to be inefficiency with stuff. I mean, I think the game's going to be pretty damn good. And I am planning to cover it for the next 10 years, so. I will try and read the questions out more. Or at least make sure that you can understand them fully separately. Sorry. Yeah, so there's going to be a 3.2 ship-ready sale at some point. We just don't know exactly when. Probably when 3.2 goes live at the end of June. Any idea when UAC will not be reset anymore? It's supposed to be, well, won't be reset anymore, not until like a beta or potentially even live release. Smash Bros. I love Smash Bros. from when I was young. I'd play and get Smash Bros. New one looked great. Have you noticed a decided downward attitude change in the overall Star Citizen community recently? Not really. I mean, on Reddit, it's always up and down in waves anyway. I think there was a lot of media coverage of the $27,000 Legatus package, which gave people more of a default response of scam or $27,000 what the fuck when communicating with people. And obviously when that sort of news breaks, people go onto videos to see things and they go, well, this isn't what I read at all. You must be lying or whatever. So there's a little tiny bit of that, but not really. There's a couple of people that have made some very valid points about things they don't like or do like with the project management of Star Citizen and what we see of it, and how long it's taking. At some point, will there be systems discover that aren't on the star map? Yes. The detail they put to known systems is great, but exploration is in discovering the undiscovered. Yes, I believe they will. Is voxel-based mining still planned for asteroids? I don't think it is anymore at all. I think they have a different system for it. Indeed, voxels are overrated and inefficient for what they want. What do you think? What do you think? How important will racing and arena commander be in the next patches or during the next year? I'm not sure what you mean. How focused they'll be, or what? So scramble races are going to be in the persistent universe, which are you have weapons free. You can start them in procedural locations. So I think sort of like potentially anywhere is what I'm saying with that. And then you beacons will spawn, and you have to rush to try and destroy them, and you can fire at other ships and stuff as well. So they're going to be pretty cool and fun. Expect them like around Grim Hexalots probably. I'm hoping that there'll be more race courses in Arena Commander. Well, I don't know. Once they get the flight model, the IFCS and the SP locked down, then I think those will really come into their own. I'd like to see some more levels in Arena Commander and racing. I don't think that's too hard for them to do either. Yeah, so object container streaming, bind culling, that sort of jazz, coming in 3.3, should be the end of the extreme memory hungry game. So we've got RAM and graphics card issues when it comes to memory there. That they need object container streaming for that. Yeah, Fallout 76, I'm looking forward to. I'll check out Battlefield 5, but a lot of people that I've talked to about it that I wanted to play it with have said, nah, not really into World War II. I'm very much into World War II games because I grew up with them a lot, like Hearts of Iron and Call of Duty 1 and 2, Battlefield 1942, stuff like that. But Fallout 76 and Anthem, both very excited for. So as I understand it, they can write the flight model and the physics of the flight model for an IFCS and the SP, and then when it gets implemented, that's a whole different bag of worms or potato or whatever. So RSI did a 1 minute 47 or 37, a little semi-trailer for for Persistent Universe in 2018. They are just doing CitizenCon this year when it comes to big presentation events. And obviously they might do the end of year one like they did with the Vertical Slice as well. But that was sort of like a stream more than an event. And that's good, because at Gamescom, it's great that we see cool stuff. I want them to work on the game and finish it. I think Starfield poses no threat to Squadron 42. I think that whatever the fuck it's called, cyber thing, technopunk thing, none of them pose any threat. We don't know when UEC won't be reset anymore around beta. So, Shadow, who do the cloud-based computer systems, which I am currently championing, because I love the idea of cloud-based alternatives to upgrading. And eventually, I think there's going to be a big market for both cloud computing and people building their own rigs. But a big trend going towards cloud computing. And I think Shadow Tech have got going to have a big market share of that. GeForce Now, Shadow, both big. They're going to keep on improving their tech when it comes to their software and their hardware. I will keep on trying to push them to give us more RAM, because 12 gigabytes for Star Citizen is borderline at the moment, but it's still, as long as you just are running Star Citizen and you've set up the game properly and you've set up Windows 10, your environment there properly, it will run fine. Well, fine as the alpha can. Do you think CIG, Full Go Geek, do you think CIG should take the same approach than Ubisoft for Beyond Good and Evil to integrate the community to help build the game? That is what they're doing, isn't it? Isn't that what CIG are doing? Helping build the game? That's what we're doing? I gotta go to the doctor relatively soon. But I wanted to... I was pretty upset earlier, actually. I was pretty stressed. I get very anxious when I'm stressed. Or stressed when I'm anxious. You know what I fucking mean. How you reacted when Ubisoft announced they were integrate fan work into Beyond Good and Evil to help create the game? Oh, so I think there's going to be a healthy modding community, and there's going to be private servers eventually. So I think that's CIG's approach to that. At the moment, I don't think they should look at anything beyond getting the core of the game done, then the game released. Could you clarify? The systems on the star map are just 30% of the universe, but the rest will be exploration and will not be announced when added. We don't 100% know. Expect that some systems might be added, and you have to then find them. Some systems might be entirely secret, and you have to find them. You have to find the jump nodes for them. Some will get just added after time and that sort of stuff. They've got 120 systems sort of like planned in pen and paper. Expect sort of like 40 for first release of the game is what I'm expecting. For beta, expect 5 to 10 systems. Do you think they would even release the first episode of Squadron 42 if they know the PU is 2 years or more away from release? Yeah? Squadron 42 represents a product that proves that they can do everything else. And episode 1, which is its own, like, I think they said 40 to 70 hours of gameplay. There's 2 more, Squadron 42 2, Squadron 42 3, games they want to get out around 2 years after each other. So Squadron 42 episode 1 is done. They want to start on Squadron 42 episode 2. Now, that won't require much in the way of new tech or anything. It will just might require new ships and lots of cinematics. The RAM is your biggest bottleneck in Star Citizen, then your CPU, then your drive, then your GPU. Yeah, so RAM, CPU, graphics card, RAM. Hey, Bored, how do you feel about all the mining being surface rocks and nothing underground? I'm okay with them not having surface deformation, if that's what you mean. I think later on it will be sort of like you will be able to find nodes that are underground that you just sort of like bore into with the mining laser, but you won't be deforming anything. Oh, Grape, I don't travel very well, although I am feeling a lot better for travel. And obviously I've got some health issues at the moment, so that's made me quite anxious. I might go to CitizenCon, but it's unlikely. So I will keep people apprised of that. Who thinks the F8 Lightning will go on sale now that it's almost finished? Yeah, it might. They were, in this monthly report, they talked about marketing materials for the ship once it was done. So that might just be... They might do a civilian model. I don't know. What do you think the core focus should be for them right now? I feel like mining was a bad starting focus for a patch because it's a mechanic that hits only one ship. They need IFTS and ESP fixed. They need object container streaming in. And then they just need to get those mechanics out as quick as they can. I'd like repair in pretty soon because that's a fundamental of the game. And I'd like the full item system 2.0 in so that items can all communicate with each other properly. And then we're talking about room systems, we're talking about boarding, and that sort of stuff. So they just need to get to those, at some level, get salvaging quick, get all that sort of stuff in quick, and then they can iterate upon them. Any updates on UEC store refunds from guns and stuff? No. They said it was going to be for 3.1. We're going to start to be able to melt stuff with from the Voyager Direct store. That has obviously not been the case. So hope for 3.2. Have SSD, increase RAM, and 16 gig of... Have SSD, increase RAM from 16 gig, or upgrade CPU from i7. Best bet for the future. Get an SSD. That's... You've got 16 gigs of RAM, and you've got an i7, even if it's like a third generation i7, then SSD is almost always going to be great, best for loading, for less stutter, lots of stuff. What do I think about Rage 2? Rage 1 wasn't particularly successful. They acted like Rage 2 would be this big hit. I'll have a look at it. You know anything about the game Scum? No. I will check it out though. Would using Shadow emulation be a better alternative to just buying all the specs? Assuming you have a decent job income. So the joy with Shadow is that it's not too expensive. It's like, what, it's $30 a month or something? Like $25 with the discount, $35 with the without, 25 quid, 26 quid a month typically. It depends. So if you've got a great internet connection and you're not getting any latency issues, then Shadow is great, and I would recommend it. I genuinely recommend it as an alternative to having a gaming PC for a lot of people. Some people are going to be hardware enthusiasts like I am. I want my own rig, 100%. But when I'm on the move, when I'm at LANs and stuff, I want to be able to take a crappy PC and I want to be able to use it as this Uber PC. And Shadow is great for that. I can bring a Shadow box and a monitor to LAN, boom, done. I can bring a laptop to LAN of any spec, boom, done. I get to run it as a 1080 with a gaming spec PC. So it's great for some people, not great for others. It's going to be purely dependent on your needs and your ability to get a good internet connection. Cyberpunk. I couldn't say Cyberpunk for some reason. I forgot what it was called. Yeah, I'll definitely take a look at it. I am much more into multiplayer games that are more focused on multiplayer. And preferably co-op, but not necessarily. Board reminder, exploration might not be as much about finding new stars. The scale of star citizen is closer to the expanse, and finding things in each system, each planet even, will be huge. Yeah, that's true. So you might be finding procedurally generated things as well, like anomalies, wildlife, plant life, just interesting stuff. They might do like wormhole type things with jump points that open up for a certain period of time between systems. They could even have uncharted systems that wormholes open up into where there's a procedurally generated planet entirely, and that system will literally be deleted after a while or disappear or whatever. Thank you. I'm glad you think I look healthy. I'm in quite a lot of pain on my right side. I use it. The RAM is not quite enough yet, but the services work really well. So yeah, it's definitely borderline for Star Citizen, and you have to really, really set it up for it. But I've had good results. Hey, Bored, how do you feel about CIG only having surface main? We've already talked about that. I mean, I'll be getting Smash Brothers, yeah. Was FPS AI pushed back due to issues with AI using GPU-based terrain navigation? I think there was pathfinding issues and just general stuff that they needed, the performance issues and stuff at a larger scale when they're generating entities and running around and stuff. Seems like a gigantic issue, and CIG never answers that question when asked. I think that is one of the potential issues, because we know they were having pathfinding bugs with it. It's essential for the game to get that in early as possible as well. The ground AI, definitely. Well, that's some interesting stuff as well, actually. So, what have we got? So, there's some 8-core, 16-thread Coffee Lakes coming this fall. In 2020, Intel are planning to release high-end GPUs for gaming. That's going to be great for competition. Obviously, I'm assuming that Star Citizen will somehow be paired with them because they love Intel. And there's rumors on the new GeForce cards potentially coming out within around 3 months. My understanding is that AA's ship come online with item 2.0. That should resolve that issue. Is that as far as you know accurate? JP's Eyes, can you put that into a question which allows me not to remember anything I've previously said? Thanks. MFDs functioning correctly from Copilot seats is what I meant. We should have greater depth to the multi-crew functionality of MFDs and the ship systems with the power and weapon system stuff that's coming online with 3.2. Yes, but I'm not entirely sure how it's going to work until it's in our hands and I can talk about it. Hey, Bored, I purchased a i5 8600K with a 1070 and 16 gigs of RAM. Star Citizen ran well at 35 frames. For the value cost, that's really, yeah, cool. That's a very good spec as well. Like the 1070 is sort of like the card, and the TI is a bit above that. So I was drinking tons of cranberry juice. KW0311 USMC, thank you so much. You are a continued Patreon of donations. It is very much appreciated. What's your view on CIG no longer giving us a price for a new concept a week in advance? I'm not sure why they haven't. They need to give it to us more. I think what they want to do is they want to make it sort of like more with concierge and that sort of thing. They want to give it sort of like more perks. So like, oh, no one else knows about this yet, sort of thing. which is a little annoying. I want more information as early as possible. I think we'll be way past current graphics cards by the time Star Citizen comes out. I think there'll be 2 generations of graphics cards. What would be the best, cheapest recommended graphics card for Star Citizen? 1060 is the cheapest that I'd recommend for it. 1070 if you can afford it. What happened to ship buying in 3.1? It wasn't there. Don't know why it wasn't there. Well, I do actually. They said it's because they didn't have the shop kiosks ready to allow that system in the game. That's one of the major blockers for it. Now, they do have those shop kiosks now for 3.2, but they haven't answered the question still, which is infuriating, because they haven't said no, they haven't said yes, they just basically said they're not answering the question. That is something that CIG can do better, not be a bunch... Actually, no, let's not use a gender-specific insult, but that infuriated me a lot. That was total bullshit. Like, answer that question. Answer that fucking question. I agree. We need more info. Even I think this is about. Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, it's we need more info at the earliest stages. So one of the other things is they want to get a game out as quick as they can, realistically, because they'll make a lot of money with the games. The ship sales make them a bit of money, but not even nearly the amount of money that they'll get once the game's released. They will make millions and millions and millions each month. You have a reclaimer, I have. Have you noticed the weird aura around the rear of the ship? Maybe it opens? Not sure what you mean. There's odd thruster sort of like effects and things. Any news on the Redeemer? We're going to have to wait another 4 years. It's on the backlog of something to look at. And we'll expect to see more like this year. Potentially expect to see it in game next year. It does need a full rework, though. Fallout 4, $750 million in the first 24 hours. Yes. However, multiple platforms and lots of hype behind that. Obviously, lots of hype behind Star Citizen, especially when they look like they're going to deliver a product. So yeah, they will make a lot of money. More money than they have made grinding to make the game. Will 600i be a loner for the CAC? We've talked about this. I don't know. At the moment, it's the Aquila. The Aquila might stay as the loner. It does make more sense for the 600i Explorer to be the loner ship, though. But it will be on that. It will be on the knowledge database. If you go on my website, boredgamer.co.uk, there is a link under resources to the loner matrix, which will be updated as it gets updated. Do you have any more info about the Reliant core? No official rework. Okay. Yeah, so all I know about the core is that it's going to get some light work done to it, and it will probably have a weapons upgrade in some fashion. Could be hardpoints, it could be missiles, and it will have a small capacity for cargo improved, so it can take more cargo appropriately. And yeah, it's getting the ability to have its VTOL thrusters detach and independently go into the modes for flight. Yeah, so that was Fallout 4 releasing a game. So that was when they were ready to release. Yeah, so it's not. It can't be my appendix, although I suppose it could be an inflamed appendix. It doesn't really hurt. It's uncomfortable. It's like a 3 on the pain scale. Chris Roberts has stated that he hopes to market Star Citizen by word of mouth. Currently, positive press on social media is uninundated with negative talk from huge amounts of gamers. I'm not sure if that's entirely true. Through a lot of the sites that reported on the $27,000 thing, yeah, probably. I wouldn't say inundated either. I'd say it's different in different circles. What can be done to improve PR? Well, there's definitely stuff they can do to improve PR. Have a more in-depth roadmap that shows at a glance what's happening with the project, shows everything they need to do to get the project finished. It can change a little bit, that's fine, we understand that. And in general, at a glance, have everything about the project available on like a single screen. So people can look at it and go, what is happening with Star Citizen? Cool. These next releases, this is what they've got planned, cool. This is what I can expect. It's not really done like that. And there's so much information about Star Citizen constantly, so. Do you have any idea what the price range of buying ships in-game with UEC is going to be like? It's going to be balanced by us, the players, when they start to have ships viable in-game with Alpha UEC. So they haven't nailed that down. I asked Aaron about that when I had my interview with him. So it will be balanced by us. What's the projected number of ships in the verse as of release? And will they add more? They'll probably add more, almost certainly. I think is it 160 planned at the moment with variants? 120 and 160. I'll look it up again. Do you think Squadron 42 will selling so quickly that people who want a physical copy will have to chase trucks carrying the CD before it's restocked? I think it's largely going to be sold online. I think we're moving away from people wanting physical copies of things so much. I think it will do pretty good. Maybe not Fallout 4 day one good, but I think it will do pretty good. Hope it does as well. It's more of a niche market though. Not a huge amount more because space games are really in at the moment still. I'm not sure, and we had a load of bad ones, haven't we? So I'm not sure more information will get them better PR. How many people did not even look that Super Package was all about, for example? Yeah, that's true, but that's because of no one has the time to educate themselves on Star Citizen, and it's not their duty to do that. They rely on media and outlets that they read regularly to do that. Now, if it was really easy to disprove something, or prove something otherwise, then the media wouldn't be able to do that. Wouldn't be able to go for those clickbait titles, which are potentially true, but they aren't potentially fully true, or there can be reasons for things. So, Star Citizen hasn't done themselves any favours, is what I'm saying, when it comes to that. It's very complex to understand what the fuck is going on with Star Citizen and how long it's going to be before we potentially have a game and that sort of stuff. And that's because they don't 100% know. We don't 100% know. There's no way we can. Because I'm assuming about 2 years for beta based on what I know that needs to be done. And that's going to be a good video, actually. I will put that in my list of videos. What actually needs to be finished for Star Citizen to be a shippable product. AI for 3.2. No ground-based AI, as in no combat AI on the ground. However, AI flight behaviors are improving. And general NPCs on stations and stuff are improving. Okay, thank you very much, Aimless. That's appreciated. I will. The doctor will be poking me in a minute. In 25 minutes, in fact. Are you excited about this Hercules Starfarer? I mean, not massively excited about it. I need persistent ground. I need persistent gameplay. I need hooks to gameplay. I need reasons to be on the ground. And really, I want base building and cool missions on the ground to warrant the transport of a vehicle to the ground in a Starlifter. And bases and stuff would be good as well. I love you, bro. Kit is my bro. We'll be playing Star Citizen with me one day. Forcibly, potentially. She's also a BoredGamer streamer. How likely is that some of that massive quantity of gameplay features planned for 3.3 get pushed to 3.4? Potentially, yeah. Some could. We will know a bit more after 3.2's release. But as we saw, even though I thought nothing else was going to get pushed back, they did then push back AI NPCs and was it improvements to those beacons? Yeah. So, okay. Should the media not be educated? Yeah, 100%. But the media needs to make money, and they make money largely by reporting on other people's news, or breaking news, or clickbait. Now, it's worth doing. So if I was going to do any clickbait as a media company, if I started running the news, I might have some clickbaity stuff, but then I'd make sure that I'd cover all of the relevant sources and the other side of the story and all of that. So you can have your clickbait at the top, and then later on in the article you have that. A lot of that stuff isn't balanced at all. But yeah, I think it's upsetting that the media are not fully educated, and a lot of them are geared towards just making as much money as possible. But a lot of those outlets are there to make money. That's their jobs. So, I mean, it's not great, but I understand it. I'm worried about Article 13 coming in, and then people having to pay for links and getting a link tax, so that it's more justifiable to not source anything. How's it going on the PTU side? I can't talk about it, unfortunately. I'm NDA'd. What do you think we will get do you think we'll get a 3.3 survey like the 3.2 feature survey? Yes, I hope so. Hopefully it will be a bit more in depth. Hopefully that we'll have a lot more surveys and interaction that is initiated by CIG when it comes to Star Citizen over this year. We can expect we will be landing on Hurston and ArcCorp 3.3, and this feature will not be reported for next year. We'll be landing on Hurston in 3.3, we'll be landing on ArcCorp in 3.4. And AI and that sort of jazz, and a load of the ground vehicles and stuff should all be online for 3.4 as well, so. Have you heard any... Oh my god, you've got a weird name. Have you heard anything about manufacturing of items and weapons, usables, ammo, maybe even ships like an Eve? That is probably what I would put into the game. That is my... I want manufacturing in the game. They've talked about science manufacturing, like being able to make drugs potentially. Obviously, you can refine fuel and refine items. And you can overclock stuff to make better versions of things. And manufacturing is the next sort of thing for me. And I hope they do put it in. But I don't think it would be that hard a mechanic to put in as well. Like, it's not game-changing, is it really? In the same way that being able to land on planets and stuff is. All the other names are taken already. Oh, shit. Will the Prowler be a pushover in straight combat with other similar-sized combat ships? Probably yes. If it's a combat ship fighting you, you're going to have to try and avoid it. You're going to have to try and fly away, or board it, or whatever. The idea of the Prowler is it's more dedicated to getting troops to something, and being evasive and being stealthy. It's not a brawler. Any other things that people would like to ask? If not, I'm going to have a little tiny nibble, and then I'm going to go to see the doctor. I mean, you're going to have to grow crops and stuff as well, and farm. So I love the idea of manufacturing. Yeah, that is something I do want. Can we be besties? I need you in my life. Cheers for all the community. All I do for the community. Thank you very much, Jamie. You can be in my top 200. How's that? Top 1,000. Will purchasable factories in the PU be a thing after base building? They haven't said they will be. I would like them to be. I like the idea of manufacture. There is going to be refineries that you can build. There's going to be lots of cool outposty things you can build that will have function. So, yeah, we need something to do with the resources once we gather them and sell them. Now, I understand that they want to have the node system and the dynamic economy, so you basically take them and sell them at places, and then they use them to manufacture the goods themselves. Basically, that's how the price fixer and the trade slayer will work. When it works out the price of something and the stock availability of something, and how long it takes for ships to get back to you with insurance claims, how long it takes for a Bengal carrier to be remade, things like that. But I would like to be able to buy them myself. I build them myself. We'll need a smaller tank dropper. Oh, I see what you mean. Will there be a smaller transport vehicle? Well, there is. But I think the smallest vehicle that will be able to take the tanks properly will be the Hercules. That's what it's built for. Lord Raygon, I'm off. Hope you get better soon. Me too. And then we can have some more awesome streams like this one. Appreciated. This is just us talking about stuff because I was bored and a bit depressed, and I couldn't be asked to make a video because I had to go to the doctor, and I was like, But I'm thinking about other things. I find it very distracting. Why are they making the Anvil Hawk so slow for a chuffing bounty hunter ship? We'll have to see exactly what they do with it when it's released in 3.4. Which kind armor stuff you like in Star Citizen? Which one don't you like? I don't really know yet. I'll probably make my own, because you're going to be able to colour your armor and stuff. So I'll probably make my own set out of lots of different bits. Fallout 76, is it 4-player co-op? Well, it's co-op. At least 4-player co-op. It's multiplayer online. It looks like a similar style to Rust. It might be able to be as larger orgs or groups as you want. Or at least it might be a lot bigger than 4-player. What are your thoughts on stealth revolving around the Eclipse? He said it needs an escort, but currently not many ships can escort without giving away the attack with a larger signature. Okay, so the idea of like ships like that are that they are short range. The Eclipse is short range. It's supposed to be working outside of a carrier or on a short range mission in the same system. So in some situations, you'll want a wing of fighters with it. In other situations, you'll want to attack as a first strike, get out, reload, and then your fighters go in, stuff like that. So it's meant to be used in operations and things. It's going to be harder to detect, though, so you can get your first strike in, potentially, get away, get reloaded while the rest of your ships engage. They haven't confirmed or denied ships being purchasable in 3.2 with Alpha UEC. How to get off Levski? Spawn a ship and fly out? I can't talk about the Ivacati build. I'm interested in the Hurricane, though. Especially I've been interested in the last couple of days. It's going to be based on how they balance it. I'd wait. Badass. I'd wait. I've been looking for an answer on how scanning and data sharing might work in bigger groups. Now, we know we're going to be able to share data between ships, and ships are going to be able to work together to scan areas. My assumption is they'll be able to send scan data between ships. Yeah, but they haven't talked much in the way of how it actually will work. Probably because they haven't designed the mechanic fully. Oh, how'd you get out of the... Oh, yeah. Broken elevators are broken. I don't think you would have to worry about it in 3.2. Oh, that's annoying, actually. The elevators are broken. Sorry. Will you go on hunting trips in-game if they implement it? Yes! Even if they don't implement it, I will. I do want to do big game hunter stuff. Right. Any other little questiones? Because I am going to go see who's streaming. And I'm going to take a painkiller. And I'm going to go to the doctor. Actually, maybe I won't take a painkiller. Well, when she prods me, it'll be... unfortunately, I've got to have a load more tests. So I need to redo my blood test. And there's an infection in my body somewhere, and they don't know where. I had higher sodium levels than I should. Some stuff, so they need to recheck my blood. It's really annoying because they can't find the veins, so they have to really dig around for them. So I was stabbed 3 times, and the last time the nurse stabbed me was very deep in my arm. She went, "We're gonna have to." So I went. They almost never are able to find my veins without a load of effort, and so the last one was pretty jabby. It just caused me anxiety not being able to do it done. It's like ugh. Oh yeah, I'll be fine. I'm sure there's people a lot iller than me. It's just I'm in a reasonable amount of pain. It's not that horrible. It's just uncomfortable on the right side of my body. Oh, Robert Johnston. Wow. Every time you pay me to fuck off, I will happily take your money. Thank you so much. Very much appreciated. You're a legend. So I was just whining about how shit I feel. So I don't actually feel that bad. It's just annoying that I know that there's obviously something wrong. I probably need antibiotics. I mean, my brain tells me it hates me and attacks me. Goes, what if you've got prostate cancer? What if you've got kidney cancer? Something like that. But I'm doing everything I can to be as healthy as I can and to get the doctors to do all the tests I can. So we've done all we can. I'm sure I'm fucking fine. It's getting older. Like I'm 33 and I'm tubby. But I've lost a lot of weight. Which is good. Just the dollars. Thank you very much. I do not mind people praying for me. I'm actually Christian. I would never, ever jam my religion down anyone else's throat. And I'm very much an individualist and think whatever works for people is what works for people. But yeah, not a lot of people know that about me because I don't really broadcast it. Who knew? Church of England though, so it's sort of like tea and cake. It's all good. Thank you. Appreciate. We're gonna go and host Super Mac Brothers Ryan. Robert Johnston, if you've want me to give a shout out about anything, you do donate a lot. A lot of you do actually, like KMS and a few others. Aspire, obviously, I'm going to be covering your app at some point. Daymar Rally, obviously, I'm going to be covering. But Robert, if anything I can do, a shout out for anything, please tell me, because I feel it's only reasonable. You fall asleep to my voice. So I do that to other YouTubers. Like Manly Badass Hero is someone I recommend. He does very cool retro styled RPG Maker games and horror games and lots of stuff like that. Not like terrifying horror, typically sort of like thrillery, spooky games that aren't jump scary. Some of them are, but very few because I don't do jump scares. So I recommend checking him out. But yeah. Thank you very much. I appreciate the love. I'm sure I'll be fine. Give Sumat Brother some love. Let's go raid that mother trucker. / raid. Bam. Oh, Aventador, you've just turned up. I'm just about to finish. Oh, love your face though. Aventador. Matadors. Great pirate org. If you're looking to join a banterous pirate org, please check out Matadors. They are the sponsors as well for Aspire's ship view thing as well, which a fleet viewer, which we will look at some point. But give these guys some love. Thank you very much for watching, guys. God save the Queen, indeed. Love you. Talk to you soon. Peace out. Cow. Oh.